Future video, great demonstration. Bob Cohen, welcome to the VUC for your first time.
Thank you very much, Randy. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to demonstrate the product. We're real excited about this. We have a preview here going on before we actually officially announce it.
But you know that there's a story here before we go to that. I want everybody on the VUC who know me pretty well to understand that Bob and I have known each other for nearly half a century. I don't know if you could identify the year that this started, Bob.
Oh, more than that, I think.
Let's not be ridiculous. What happened to my slide? Let's see if I can find this. Oh, no. I don't know what happened. It didn't get the vigilante slide. Anyway, Bob and I were in a band. I wanted to show the photo, but that's neither here nor there. The reason future video exists today, though, Bob, I think, you can answer yes or no for these statements, is because of something that happened in your basement about 50 years ago. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did that have any effect on your life's work, you think?
It became a challenge.
So here's the story. I'll shorten it because we want Bob to take over and do the demo, and he'll be waiting for any questions you may have. But Bob and I were sitting in his basement. We were kids, you know, high school kids, playing in the same band. And we somehow got a hold of a Nortronics data tape head. And we were trying to make a video tape recorder in the days when, you know, you didn't have that in the home. They had it in broadcast studios. They cost $100,000 or something. So we were messing around, and Bob had designed some kind of circuit. And he put it together, so we're watching this thing, this tape head and the deck, and it's going really fast, and suddenly, for just a second, yeah, James, that's exactly it, and for just 1 second, it went into sync. So we called his dad downstairs. We go, look at this, you have to see this. So we spin it up, and the, you know, the thing is, and it comes up, and it's the horizontal sync comes in, and he goes, isn't that great? You know, there's no image, just the sync. And his dad says, where's the sound? And with that, Bob.
That was the exciting part. Then right after that, we heard that zit sound.
You're right. We burned up the head, and that was
burned up the head.
A tiny puff of smoke wafted up from in the ceiling, and that was the end of that.
That ended that experiment.
So rather than go through all of the 50 years between then and now, let's zoom forward to future video. Why don't you tell us also what other products before the one we're going to be talking about, which is V-Station HD, what else is out there already?
Well, there are a number of independent digital video recorders that are sold by a number of different companies, and they range in price from you know, a few thousand to many thousands of dollars. They're used, they all record HD video. But one of the motivations that we had here, we make controllers, jog and shuttle controllers, and we get a lot of calls from people that want to synchronize their digital decks together. And we just have found that there's no real good way to do that. And so it kind of motivated us to develop our own multiple DVR in one package, and that's sort of the origin of this. But for years we've been making jog and shuttle controllers. We've made back before there was even editing on the computer. We had created a number of different edit controllers as well. So we come from a background of editing and post, and this is our new contribution here.
Okay, and you and I were talking about this. Obviously, you're not using this terminology in your literature that you're putting out on the product, but basically, one could say, and I have said in the tweets I've sent out, that most everybody knows what a TriCaster is. It's a video switcher, and this is kind of like a video recorder. What the TriCaster is to switching, this V-Station is to video recording, right?
Absolutely. That's a very good analogy. So what I'll do here, I guess I'll start the oh, there you go.
Yeah, but before you do, let's get this out of the way.
You found
it. I can get it into the
There's
I don't know
Randy.
what happened. So this is the Vigilantes, our band. I need to get a window out of the way so I can see what's going on. Okay, there we go, and it's backwards. So
There
the
we
left
go.
to right, that's Bob on the lower left with his Jaguar guitar. That's me. We also have our Jazzmaster.
Jazz
That's
Master.
next. That's me with the great hair, typical, on the Jazzmaster, and then that would be Jim Madison, and Rick Beresford,
Yeah.
of whom I have no news for a long time, but who knows? May still be out there.
I had actually an email from Rick about a year ago, so he's doing well. We
Right.
have no idea where Jim is.
Okay.
You know, we never,
Anyway.
even at that time, we didn't know where he was.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was either. Kind of like Walter on Fringe.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, folks. You asked for it. You got it here. So, Bob, on to the V Station HD.
Okay, very good. I'm going to see if we can get the. I'm going to do a little slide presentation first as a little introduction, and then we can. I'll go into a emulation of the system. There we go. Okay, so everybody can see that, I presume. So we call this the V Station HD. We actually call it a multi-track video project recording system rather than just a DVR, because we feel a DVR is maybe although it's an easy way to understand the concept, it does a lot more. The V Station actually records full HD 1080p video from 4 HD cameras simultaneously as 4 separate tracks rather than multiplexing them together. It provides synchronized playback of up to 8 videos at a time. It does multicam editing and manages all the clips as projects with automatic assignment of reels, scenes, shots, and take numbers. All this in one package. It can record up to 160 hours of video simultaneously coming from 4 HD cameras. So it's got a lot of storage there. It provides for backup and restore of video content and its metadata to multiple choices of backup. We take that quite seriously because when you have all this in one system, you want to make sure you have backup for your footage. And so you can back up to a local USB external drive, local network, or file server, and even over the internet to an FTP server. The backup is seamless, although not automatic. You can select backup, and then all you have to do is click the button and it starts the backup. To give you an idea of a typical configuration for the system, it consists of a Windows 7 based PC built into a rugged enclosure. There's a 4-channel H.2.64 hardware encoder capture card, 2 terabytes of hot swappable video drive, a 64 gigabyte SSD system drive, and we're using the Intel quad-core i5 CPU for fast performance. There are 4 HDMI inputs. You can put in 4 HDMI cameras. There's 1 HDMI out, which you can use as your program monitor. And in addition, you can hook up to 2 control monitors for the preview. You have a on-screen preview, which I'll show you, and a control monitor for other tasks that you're doing. Also, you can have we make an optional jog and shuttle control, and then we also make a variety of different accessories that you can use to extend the HDMI cables up to 150 feet. So that way you're not limited to the length of the HDMI cable. If for field use, we have an optional 7-inch 10 or 10-inch touch screen monitor that can be used instead of having to take these 3 monitors along. Although not totally portable, it still does provide the ability to operate it with 1 monitor. In order to understand the motivation for inventing vStation HD, it's a good idea to see how the workflow from acquisition to post is done before there was a vStation HD system, and how vStation HD changes the paradigm by automating some of the manual tasks that are done today, as well as managing all the footage shot when under the control of a single system. If you look at the upper diagram here, traditionally footage is acquired on a removable storage media, such as SD cards or P2 cards, whatever, and then copied to an asset management system or to the nonlinear system for post-production and editing. Of course, it takes time to copy the footage, to create the bins for the project, decipher which camera the footage came from, what the scene was, the shot was, especially when they're all taken at the same time. And if you have retakes, that can also be very confusing as well. If the camera is from different manufacturers, clip names can be quite different, and that makes it even harder to sort out when you're inundated with, if you're the editor and inundated with a bunch of removable media cards. In addition, if there's no time code, then synchronizing these clips together, if it's a multi-camera shoot, it makes it very difficult, especially if there's no common audio or an image at the start of each shot. In addition, removable media can be damaged or lost in the process, mislabeled, stepped on, and so forth. Once everything is sorted out, then only then you can start the review and editing process. In contrast, the vStation HD system keeps all the recordings together in one system. The model on which the system was designed is the cinema model, where we use the concept of reels, scenes, shot numbers, and takes. As recordings are made, clips are automatically classified into different categories. And you can see how we organize it. We organize it into projects. And there's a root folder here where we have the project name. And within each project, we can have different reels, and within each reel we can have different scenes. All this is done automatically for you. You don't have to do this classification afterwards. So what we're doing is at the very beginning of each project, the user defines the names for the project, the reel names, the scene names, and folders are automatically created for you. Clips are named by the track, scene, shot, take number nomenclature, but in addition, you can append the clip file name with any description you want for the track name, reel name, and scene name, especially if you're moving it onto another system and you may want to be able to reference that clip isolated from the actual project. vStation's proprietary TrueSync feature takes out the complexity of synchronizing the clips that are recorded from different cameras, and you don't need time code. Therefore, you can use very inexpensive HD cameras that use the HDMI connector, such as DSLRs, or small consumer HD cameras, such like the Canon, Vixia, JVC, Panasonic, and Sony, all make very inexpensive HD cameras that are exceptionally good quality. For this demo, in order to provide the best viewing experience of the vStation's user interface over the web, that we're actually not going to do recording from cameras right now, and we're not going to be able to activate the preview monitor, but we're going to actually be seeing the real playback and editing functionality of some footage I've already recorded with the system. The vStation HD software was designed and developed in-house here at Future Video. We created the system to provide a very quick and easy way to go from acquisition to rough cut within minutes after the shoot. And in fact, even while continuing to shoot video, the system can be used to review, playback, and edit video clips that were shot previously. So I'm going to close this up right now here. Okay.
Bob, while we're in a transition, I'd like to ask a question that may be on people's minds, which is, what can you tell us about the inner workings of the system? A lot of geeks online here watching and listening to this. A little about maybe the hardware and also the software, the OS. Anything you care to reveal?
Yeah, in fact, we are using an Intel i5 CPU. We have a Windows 7 professional operating system. We're using the H.2.64 hardware encoding level, high profile level 4.2. And we got a 2 terabyte hard drive, SSD, 64 gigabyte drive. So
Interesting. So the SSD is for a quick boot.
yes,
I
exactly.
take it, and
Yeah,
maybe some
exactly.
scratchpad stuff.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So okay. So
Okay, that's the
that's
kind
good.
of thing. If you think of any details, our audience is kind of
Absolutely.
into that.
Absolutely.
Go for the emulation.
Okay. Um, all right. So before we even begin shooting, what we want to do is set up the project. So I'm going to bring up the project screen here and give you an example of maybe something that we um, might set up, might be appropriate to today's uh, current events. For example, if I was making a project, oh, you're not seeing that. Okay, let me see here. Let me, somehow I need to go to the desktop view. See if I can get that. Let's see if that works. Okay, good. All right. Now you can
Perfect.
see,
Yeah,
yeah, good.
perfect.
Okay. All right. All right. So before we actually began a project, before we began the shoot, we define this project in our system. A video project is a way to manage all the clips in an organized way with all the reels, scenes, shots organized as we shoot video. It saves it saves us the task of having to categorize and classify the clips from multiple cameras after they shoot, and that can be obviously a big nightmare as we had discussed. It also provides a way to put in metadata about the project, such as the director, the producer, and client name. And we have pretty much a free form here, which we can define things associated with the project. Maybe want to know who the caterer was, who did the lighting, and so forth. Um, we also have another screen that we can put in camera information for this particular project. Every project you can have uh, your own camera names and track names and so forth. Uh, what you're seeing right now is just a sample. For example, if I created a project for the political debates, it would uh, show the date of the start, the time, and I can put in a director, a producer, and so forth. And I can define a reel. So maybe the first thing I would do is the first reel name would be, I could say reel one, but maybe more descriptive. I would call it Ohio debate because we know it's going to be, maybe we'll have a reel for each place the debate is being held. And then within that particular reel, we're going to have different scenes. So maybe the topic, there'll be several topics: the economy, immigration, war, whatever, would be here. So we can keep adding as many reels and scenes as we want, and that keeps everything organized as we're shooting. So I can also add, as we go along, once we've selected a reel, I can go into the main control panel here, and we can also add more scenes. So if you take a look here on the left side, that's our record panel. And on the left, you can see we can do our start and stop recording here. If you notice, I hope you can see that. I hope it's big enough. On the very top, it shows us the project that we're working on here for the record. These are our preview screens. Now, as I said before, I'm not able to activate these because the interaction between the Google and the Google demo,
Oops.
and yeah, and I can't be able to do that. So we're just going to simulate the recording at this moment. I can also select to view any of the four sources using the monitor buttons down here, and these actually will select any of the four sources, and they'll go out to a external monitor. And so I can look at all four incoming sources here. I can also output any of the four through the monitor buttons here. So I can just do a simulation here. If I was going to record here shot 1, I would enable the tracks that I want to record on. So each would represent a camera coming in. I don't have to record on all four, but I certainly could. And I'll hit the record, and then of course it starts the recording. Now this is just a simulation, so nothing's really happening. But you can see here it's keeping track of the current record time. We have the remaining time on the hard drive, 160 hours, and everything is proceeding, hopefully, as well as we want. And I can stop the recording, and I can do a retake if that recording wasn't done. So what happens, in order to keep track of everything, every time I do another record, it increments the shot number so that we can keep track of the shot. If we don't, if we want to retake that shot, we do a retake. It keeps the shot number at it as it is, and then you can't see here, but increments the take number for that video. So we can retake, and everything is organized by shot and take number, and you'll see that in the clip names later. We also have shortcut keys for all the functions here. So if you want to use the keypad, for example, I want to switch between monitors, or I want to be able to start and stop the recording, I can do that through the shortcut keys. Now I'm going to bring you over to the playback monitor here on the right. Once the clips are recorded, they can be played back individually in the playback monitor that you see on the right side. In fact, even during a record session, I can actually be working on a previous recordings, even from a previous project. And it's one of the nice features of the system that you can actually do these multiple tasks at one time. Perhaps maybe what you're shooting is not of interest to you, but later. And so I could be working simultaneously on a project, getting ready for editing, you'll see later. So what I'm going to do, if I want to bring up a different project here, I'll go to the clip browser. Let's see if this comes up. And I can select on the upper left-hand corner projects that I've previously recorded. In this case, I'm going to do an interview, which this shows me all the projects. I slimmed this down for the demo, but if I choose the interview, and these show me the clips that were done in that particular interview. My son was interviewing me, so it's a three-camera setup. We have an overview, we have a close-up of my son, and a close-up of me, and if I want to use these clips, I can play it, double-click on it, and it'll play the clip. And then I can also get information about the clip. It'll show me the date, the clip name, the duration, the time, and everything. So this allows me to select and filter through projects and reels and scenes and find something I've done previously. A very nice library, a way to go through the library of clips that you've recorded. So I'm going to select 3 of these clips. These were all taken at the same time. I could tell they were scene number 1, they were shot number 2, and they were the first take. So these are all taken at the same time. So I'm going to select them by highlighting them, clicking on it once, and then I'm going to close the clip browser. And they now will come back in the main panel. In fact, I can actually look at the playlist, and this shows me the 3 clips that we did. Shows me the project name, the real name, scene name, shot number, take number, all the information I may want to know about these clips, and I can select that and play that particular clip. So it easily can retrieve and then play back. I also have the ability to get more statistics if I want, even on the video. I can overlay on the video. I don't know if you can see that. More information, the time, the start, what the format was used, the frame rate, as well as the full file name. Now, if I'm looking at this, I may want to review it and maybe mark something that might be notable. In fact, we have a log. Bring the log up, and these were notable points that we had in the video. So I can actually click on an event, perhaps. I was interested to see what happens when he put his hand behind his head. And you might, not real notable here, but if you had a sports event, you might want to log different various positions, different images, and be able to go back to them. And again, I can go to the next clip. Every clip has their own log associated with it.
Michael's got a couple of questions, Bob, if it's a moment to
sure. That's a good, yeah, good.
Oh, hey, there we go. Turn my audio on. You're bringing back memories. I spent a decade as an editor. Much of the late 80s and first half of the 90s. Before nonlinear was such a factor. But does it have any time-lapse capability? That is, I see some potential in maybe commercial monitoring applications as opposed to creative things. So is it all straight video at the moment?
Yeah, it's real time. Yeah, we don't have any kind of time-lapse capability. Now, the way the system is, it's a hardware capture, so everything is encoded. So we don't really have a way to turn on and off frame by frame.
Okay.
But we can, I suppose, take the edited version and slice out. But that really isn't. It's not so much a time-lapse recorder as it is more of a productions.
Okay. And for the storage, you mentioned a 2 terabyte drive. Is there any facility for use of external storage for extending storage capability, or for maybe RAID protecting it if I really want to be careful with the media I'm capturing?
Yes, very good question. We offer actually two options, the 2 terabyte drive and then 2 1 terabyte RAID configuration. So you can have that double backup. You can also hook up an external USB drive as well, but the system is designed to record onto the 2 terabyte or the RAID, and then use the external USB as a backup.
Okay, and when you say USB, is it USB 2 or is it the newer USB 3?
Yeah, there's also we have connectors for external SATA, 6 gigabit, 6 gigabyte, and then we also have a gigabit Ethernet port, so you can connect to a file server and back up that way. And then also we have FTP capability to over the web. We can back up and send the content and metadata to an FTP server to have additional. And one of the advantages of that is we can then restore to a different B station, and then you can work on the project on a different unit as well.
Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Okay, I hope I answered your questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we've been looking here now at the single video file playback, but one of the advantages of having synchronized recordings is that we can actually be able to look at them all at the same time. So we can actually create a project, which I'm going to do here. Call this the interview. Now, I already used that name, so I'm going to have to do a different name. Call it interview 2. And we can add clips to our project here. We can pick up the same clips that we had from our recording or what we were just viewing. So I'll just say add clips, and we pick up these clips that we just had. And now by highlighting, these become part of the multicam synced group of videos. And I can bring this into the program monitor. And now, if I drag the time bar, everything you can see synchronizes to each other. So I can drag it, position it, I can play, and they're all playing together in sync. I'm not sure if you can see that through the... So that allows me then to actually look at the videos and see what was going on at each angle of the camera. And I can actually then take and look. For example, we did a log here where Aaron was putting out his putting his hand on pulling out his phone, and I wanted to see what happens on each of the angles. So I click on here, pulls out his phone, and I can see in the two angles what was going on, the overview, and how I responded to it. So perhaps maybe in a behavioral study you can actually use this for analyzing multiple angles. And I can in fact choose any of the videos, and they all are still in sync here. So I can go back and forth. This one here, I noted he put his hand in the back of his head, and I could see my reaction and the overview. So if you're doing something like sports, or you're doing behavioral studies or training, it might be good to be able to analyze and see what's going on at each point, maybe make a set a mark here and make note of that event. I can also synchronize by not only time, but I can synchronize by a common event that might have occurred at different times. For example, let's say I was recording a golf swing, and I wanted to have multiple golf swing recordings and compare them at each time the ball hit the golf club hit the ball. And then by doing that, I'm able to then synchronize by event rather than time, because they're not time related, but they're event related. And if we had a little bit more time, I could do that. But it gives you basically the idea that we have two ways to sync, by time or by a common event. So that may very be useful for a lot of analysis studies, and be able to play these back. I can add more clips. I don't have to use the clips from this particular project. I can add clips from other projects by going to my clip browser, picking more clips, and add to it. I can have up to 8 videos in here, and I can synchronize them either by time or event. So with this capability, I can also do multicam editing. So what I can do here as an example, let's say I'm going to, first of all, create a reel, an output reel. We'll call this the interview edit 1. And I'm going to select the camera that I want to, or the scene, the shot, the angle that I want to start my video with. So let's start from the overview here. And I'm going to pick a point at where I would like to begin the video. So that might be a good start. I'm going to turn my, what we call our synchro edit video mode on. And now I'm going to actually simulate as if we were doing a live shoot and switch between cameras as you would if you were actually going live. So I'm going to put the autoplay on, and I'll hit play. And then I'm going to switch now, perhaps maybe to camera 2. Go over to camera 3. Now I can do this with the keyboard as well, so I can use the numeric keyboard to switch shots. So I'll go back to camera 1, the overview.
I'm feeling great.
And unlike a live shoot, if I see something happening in camera 3 and I missed it, it's too late. But here I can actually pause, bring it back, and say, okay, now let me go to camera 3.
Can you edit the cut point? Is that possible?
What I'm doing is actually doing that right now by deciding where I want to make the cut. Mm-hmm. So I'm moving this along here, and I'm saying, okay, I want to make the cut there to show the overview.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll do a couple more cuts here. Let's go back to camera 3. And back to camera 1. And so we'll maybe say, let's end the video right here. Turn off the synchro edit feature. And now, let's see here. What I've actually done here, I didn't actually make an edited reel, but what I did is I made an edit decision list, which you can see here. And to answer your question, Randy, these are the edits that we just made. And I can select it, I could delete it, I could move them up and down, change the order. If you wanted to actually change or trim this particular edit, at the moment we don't have that capability, but we will soon offer that. And you can always delete an edit, go back, add a different edit, and reposition it here. So now that I have the edit list, all I really want to do is let's go ahead and create the video. So I'm going to click on the Create Edited Video button here. And it's actually now putting that edit list into a real video. And there it starts playing. I can bring it to full screen. And in no time, I've created a edited video of the shoot that we just did, very quickly.
So one thing I want to check on, you did get Aaron to sign a release to be showing this on YouTube, right?
I made him sign a release when he was born.
Okay, that's great because it's a pretty good demonstration, able to mark up areas and go back and deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if I want to, if I want to do a completely different version of this, I'll create a new edit reel. Call it Edit 2. In a way, you can think of this if you're a sound engineer and you want to sound mixing and you want to do sound mixing in different ways. You
alternate takes.
Yeah, you can do alternate takes, right, and create a brand new thing. So that ability to be able to go from shoot to edit that quickly is one of the strong points of our system.
Very cool.
By the way, the red that you see there tells us that the clips are not all in sync. So the recordings all do not start exactly at the same time. But I think either my mouse just went or it froze. Let me see here. I think the batteries in my mouse just...
Always the weak link, right? Hardware.
Hold on one second here.
Digital is clean.
That's one of the things you never think about.
I know.
Where the batteries in my mouse go away. That's funny. Okay.
Is it a cordless mouse?
Yes.
Yeah, I curse those things. I don't know. It's better to have cables and not worry about all these batteries.
I know.
I've got a cordless mouse and a cordless keyboard. They drive me nuts.
Yeah. Okay, so now we All right, so now we have the mouse back.
Okay, you have the mouse
All
back.
right. So let me just give you one last little item here. I'm going to just bring back the. If we want to do finished editing, what we'll do is we want to make it easy to bring it into a nonlinear editing system. So as what we do is we have a way to export a shot list. This is everything that you've shot for that particular project. So you see here the project name, when it started, who was the director, producer, so forth, any notes. It tells you the number of shots you did, the number of scenes you did, what the total duration of the project is, what cameras you used, what their settings were, and if every shot that you've taken, the time it started, how long it was, the name of the clip, and so forth. So you have everything here that you'll need to know about that project. And then we also take the edit decision list and output. By the way, this file here is an Excel compatible file, so that you can use in a spreadsheet and use it for a number of things. And then the EDL file, the edit decision list, can be used in a NLE system to replicate the rough cuts, but then add transitions and so forth. We are looking at better ways to make this to work with Adobe Premiere and Final Apple Cut to make it a little bit more seamless, and that's one of our current projects. Anyway, just in summary, the demo is meant to give you an idea of how vStation makes it fast and easy to create a multi-camera shoot, and within minutes create an edited video. In many cases, depending on the application, you may not even need to make an edited video and are only using the capture and synchronize playback feature to analyze video motion or behavior for studies and training. So, let me go back here. So I appreciate the opportunity here, Randy, I hope I haven't bored the audience. And if at that time, if you'd like, if there's more time here, I'll take questions.
Sure. If anybody has any questions, let me look back at IRC here, and also Michael, if you have any, or if anybody else. This is a little bit out of our usual scope, but let me just emphasize that people can contact you at futurevideo.com, correct? I'm sure
Yes.
there's a contact thing there.
You could contact me at, if you want, R. Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, at futurevideo.com.
Are there any specific market segments you're chasing after with this one?
Yes, we think a very strong area for this would be scientific observation and analysis. We think any type of behavioral studies would be good. We think sports. We also think cinema, digital cinema might be good, because you can actually do some proxy videos here with a very inexpensive system and try it out. Even for perhaps pilot television series, you don't want to put a lot of money in. You can quickly do the shoot, edit, take a look, and see what you like. Legal, medical, manufacturing, safety, security, those are the areas that we see. Perhaps some of theatrical performances, you want to be able to record plays or musicals or video from concerts. So a number of areas. It goes across a number of different applications and different vertical markets.
I'm reminded of a long time ago when I edited a barbecue cooking show. It was actually the president of Canada's largest supermarket chain was hosting this thing, and we had a 4-camera shoot locking up what were then Betacam tapes, and doing as you suggest, play back 4 reels, make a line cut. The post-production process took literally weeks.
Didn't it? Yeah. That's what we're trying to prevent here.
Yeah, all in a tape-based environment. So.
Which is even worse.
Yes.
Well, we made video editing systems back in the 90s that did use the tape, and we had one of the first low-cost AB roll systems that we called the EditLink 3300, and you could actually synchronize two sources and a record deck with a WJMX Panasonic, I think it was a WJMX 30 mixer, and it would control all the you could create an edit decision list with it and all that, and it actually worked. So it it made life simpler, but still it's much easier to do it this way.
Indeed, indeed.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, we will move on to the next segment, and I will probably end the broadcast so that we can have the recording not too long. Bob, I hope you'll join us. You have some experience, interesting experience in some of the VoIP things you've done at your home as well, and it's an interesting scenario, all the things with Kelly and the different trials and tribulations you went through trying to switch all those lines. So hopefully we'll do that again one of these days, okay?
That would be great. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you again, Randy. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, and I feel that I have a serious investment in Future Video, having been there 50 years ago. Yes, 50.
Yeah. Well, I think we should have a reunion of the Vigilantes.
Absolutely. Let's find Jim and, well, Mike, I think, is deceased, but
He's
Jim
gone.
Madison and Rick Beresford. Okay. Everybody, thank you. This has been the VUC. We'll be back next Friday with a mystery guest since we have no idea who it's going to be.